guys.
Guys, welcome back to another Consistency Code episode. Excited for this one. We're going to be diving into our guilty pleasure foods, how we actually fit them in, how we stay on track, because ultimately, as much as some of y'all may think, we are not robots and we do enjoy eating off plan, as you've heard in every single episode. We're always talking about
Yeah.
big foodies over here, but also bodybuilders at the end of the day who do need to keep some rigidity in our diets. And for most of y'all listening, I'm sure you're on some kind of fitness journey, whether that be a fat loss journey or whether you're in a muscle building phase, whatever it is. You probably also need some consistency with your nutrition, but life is short and restriction always leads to overeating at the end of the day. And so I think it's important to talk about, yeah, how we can incorporate these foods and satisfy our cravings and live our life and
Hmm.
still stay on plan. And yeah,
Exactly.
it's funny because I feel like every single time I post like a picture of a free meal or like me going out to eat, like people are always surprised to see that. Like, oh my gosh, like she's eating off plan, like, you know, people just assume that we are robots all the time. Yet, I mean, I'm gonna call some people out here. They're also the ones who are eating off plan all the time and having like these bites and licks and tastes of stuff without tracking it and then wondering why the
Yeah.
scale isn't moving. So yeah, I'm gonna explain how we enjoy those foods
How
and
you
put
doing?
them in.
Exactly. And I don't think from any of us we've ever called our free meals a cheat meal. I don't think I've heard that come out of your mouth, which
I
thank
hate
God.
the term cheat meal. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
actually hate the term cheat meal because what are you cheating on, babe? What are you
exactly.
cheating on? It just like, it's
Hmm.
so derogatory and it creates this negative mindset towards
Yeah.
certain foods. Like, if I eat this and suddenly call it a cheat meal, then like that food is automatically deemed bad for me and a bad food. And I hate labeling foods.
Exactly.
There truly are no quote unquote good foods or quote unquote bad foods. A food is just
Yeah.
freaking food at the end of the day. Like you could
Mhm.
hypothetically lose weight on McDonald's every single day.
Yeah, and there's research on that, right? But there's
There
also
is
like a
everyone that actually did it just to prove a point.
exactly. And there's a very negative stigma around the like sentence of like cheat meals because usually exactly like what are you cheating on? Because we're trying to everything that we promote on here and we've been is like trying to make this a lifestyle. You know what I mean? So there should be no need to necessarily cheat on something that's a lifestyle change, right? So we call
Exactly.
them our free meals off-plan meals because we do have a certain plan that we like to follow majority of the time, but then when we don't and we skew away from that, that's called an off-plan meal. So I think that also gives a more relaxed sense of when we do it, and that way like we're not panicking like, oh my gosh, I just ate this, I just ate this. I've texted Bella before being like, hey, just had like a 2 pound cookie last night, so fire. And it's like she never texts back like, oh my gosh, like was that your cheat meal for the week? Like, you know. So you always have to kind of watch the language that you use because these are just foods that bring us joy and happiness and in social settings, and that's literally it.
Totally. And obviously, there's a time and a place for these
Hmm.
off-plan meals, when we're in prep and things do need to be dialed to the T,
Yeah.
then are we going to be having these like treats or off-plan meals without like the go-ahead from our
Hmm.
coach? No, because like we're on a strict timeline. We have that end date that like we have that show that we're working toward, and it is really important in prep that everything is super meticulous. But in the off season, like it's important to enjoy life. Like we cannot be super robotic 365 days of the year because that will lead to burnout. And I even felt a sense of burnout at the start of this off season, honestly. Well, maybe not the start of this off season because the start of this off season was like a year ago basically for me, but I'm always really, really good with my reverses post show. And I would say it was like the transition period from my reverse like into my off season where I felt this started to feel like a burnout sense. And I sat down with myself. I'm like, okay, this is probably because I haven't taken a break from working with a coach in like almost 5 years now. I have always been super, super dialed, even in my off seasons, like to the point where I would have like a weekly free meal in my plan, but I would not let myself deviate from that whatsoever. And then also looking back on it, I now realize that like I overate during that free meal because it was like the only opportunity that I felt like I had to eat off plan throughout the whole week, which like is a negative mindset to have in and of itself. And I think that in the off season, it's important to incorporate that bit of balance into your life. Yeah, to avoid creating that resentment towards something that you really love doing. And like Ruth has said, this should be a lifestyle. And that's what I always tell my clients too. I'm like, this should not feel like a diet to you. I don't want you to feel like you're dieting because ultimately the term diet also always has some sort of restriction. Whether
Mhm.
doesn't matter what the diet is, like anytime you refer to something as a diet, it's going to have some sort of restriction, and that is not sustainable. And the goal is to create a lifestyle that you can stay consistent with for the rest of your life without being stressed about a vacation or a dinner out or a party or whatever, a holiday, like whatever it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So we thought that it would be fun to just take an episode to chat about our guilty pleasure foods, like our favorite foods, our go-to free meals, untracked meals, and how we fit them into our day-to-day without derailing. And yeah, just do like a little, I guess you could call it masterclass on flexible eating.
Some
And
hacks,
meanwhile, we just get to talk about foods we love,
which is always a good thing.
which is our entire personality. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
truly, truly. I have all the hacks, guys, and well, this is only a handful of them because we have like textbook fulls. Trust.
Big time. Yeah.
Mhm.
And as you all know too, I have been traveling a shitload this summer. I would say I've almost been traveling more than I've been home, and
Mhm.
I've been eating off plan. I will say more than I would like, just because I like eating my prep meals because I know that they digest well for me. I know that they're gonna fuel me towards my goals. I know that I just feel my best. My body functions its best when I'm eating on plan. And so, yes, I've been eating off plan a lot, but I've also been making smart choices while I've been eating off plan. And by the way, when we say, like, when we refer to something as off plan or like as an untracked meal, basically that just means we're not like meticulously tracking it in MyFitnessPal. Or if you're on a meal plan, basically just means that it's not one of your regular scheduled meals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think a good starting point would actually just be to quickly discuss how we navigate going out to a restaurant to eat. So, yeah, Rutha, if you were to like go out to a restaurant and want to stay kind of on plan, but also enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
how would you go about that?
So it really just depends like what you're personally doing, right? If this is like I'm going out to a restaurant because I have numerous like events to attend. Let's say like if I know like I have a friend's birthday and a dinner another day. So if it's kind of like continuous things, I'm obviously gonna just be making smarter decisions while in a restaurant, but you'll never catch me, like I'm so sorry, ordering a chicken salad and calling it a day every single time. That's not happening. That's the most boring, and I might as well just bring my own food then because what? I'm eating a chicken breast and lettuce for like what, $30? That's crazy. But you
Also, that is, even though you think the salad is the healthy option, it's probably not the low calorie option.
It's not unless you're genuinely like asking for dressing on the side and this, and I feel like that's just too much work. And I want to also like be able to enjoy myself, right? So the menu of a restaurant's always provided to you beforehand because if you just search it up, so people do like doing that and just like kind of pre-planning like, hey, I'm just gonna get this and this. But I don't usually have I'm very type B, so I don't have time to look at that. So when I get there, I just look at very familiar things that are just easy made, right? Nothing too complicated where it's like chicken parm with this, that, and the third. I like to look at things that ingredients are just listed, right? So that's what I
Like a
love
whole
going based
foods
off
place.
of.
meal,
Exactly.
like an entree, like a protein heavy
Exactly.
meal.
I love that. Like, even if it's like a club sandwich, like a turkey club, like
Yeah.
whatever, like let's say it says on there, and I'm like, okay, like I don't care if there's like garlic aioli like on it, but at least I can see like whatever, and I can tell them like, hey, like can you go light on the sauce, right? So it's just a very like, I like to go for very easy made meals from restaurants just because it just makes more sense for me. But I obviously also have times where I go and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling a actually I've never gotten Alfredo from a restaurant. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't
I
even lie
can't
about
tell you
that.
the last time I got an Alfredo either. Even
Yeah,
though I'm tempted, because the Earl's chicken Alfredo is
is it good?
it's
Okay.
unmatched. But the thing with a creamy, super
Mm,
saucy, carb heavy, fat heavy dish like that is I
never
know it's
tell.
not gonna sit well with me. So
Thank you. Me
it's one
neither.
of those things that like I would love to have a bite of someone
Hmm.
else's to satisfy the craving that way, but like I never want that fully
It
to
would kill
myself.
me. I'm fully convinced like it would kill me because the next day I'm gonna feel groggy just because of the amount of like dairy to begin with. It just doesn't do well with me. But anything so dense and heavy, it just doesn't deal well.
Hmm.
I'll do like meat
It's just
sauce,
not
but
worth it. It's not worth
no
it.
way. Yeah. But that's what I do. What do
But
you
that's
do?
just personal preference, and I'm not saying that like pasta is a bad food. Like it's not. Like it's just about knowing your body and knowing what's going to digest well for you. It's our personal preference just to not order something that we know is going to be super heavy in carbs and super heavy in fat and packed with dairy because we know that that combination is not going to digest well for us. So it's not that we're avoiding that because it's a bad food. There's just better options that we know are gonna make us feel better, not
Yeah.
disrupt our sleep, not disrupt our digestion, and not make us wish that we hadn't have ordered that because there's nothing worse than eating something and being like sitting in the guilt after and being like, oh, like I regret
Exactly.
that so
Mm.
much, you know?
And it's so I think it's just really like just heavy on the cream is crazy to me because it does like for Alfredo to taste good, you have to be heavy-handed with the ingredients. So,
Exactly. Like
yeah,
there's a reason that it tastes so much better at a restaurant than it does when you make it at home.
exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you do? Tell me.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, before I even go out to the restaurant earlier in the day, I am aware that I'm going out to eat that evening, right? So I'm going to set aside more of my fat and more of my daily carbs for that
Mhm.
meal and mainly just focus on getting my protein in my meals leading up to that meal out because I know that, okay, that meal out is probably going to be a little bit lower in protein and a little bit denser in carbs and fats. So I'll just adjust my meals earlier in the day so that they are lower carb, lower fat. Other than my pre and post workout meals, I'll always keep those the same because it's always super, super important to be fueling your body around your workouts and not taking away from your training performance in your
Mhm.
workouts. But other than that, I'll probably save like 2 to 3 of my like of the regular meals I would have that day or snacks or whatever for that meal out. And then yeah, eat like my pre and post workout meal and then like I said, save some extra carbs and fats. I also will always look up the menu ahead of time just because I get excited about the options on the menu. And then that way I can also think about what I want to have and what I'm craving that day. So maybe I actually am craving a steak and I want to order a steak. Well, then yeah, I'm probably going to save like 40 grams of protein for 50 grams of protein ish for that meal because typically the steaks at restaurants are pretty decently sized, which we love. And then depending on like the side options, I'll adjust my carbs and fats in my meals for like that day leading up to the dinner out. And then typically at a restaurant, I mean, I don't do this very often, but if I am like in a dieting phase specifically where calories are a little bit lower, I will always ask for my food not to be cooked in any oil or butter. So say I'm ordering a steak, I'll just, or like a grilled chicken or something, just ask for it not to be cooked in any extra oil or butter. That way you're saving a ton of calories just through like the cooking oils. And then sauces on the side or light sauce. And then say I'm getting like a club sandwich or like a burger or something, ask for no bacon or cheese to save a ton of calories from those heavy fat items.
The bacon. Always
It's
take
always
the bacon off. Sorry. I will always say take the bacon fully off.
Because yeah, that bacon is, girl, is not giving you any protein, very minimal protein and just straight fat. And I know it's so greasy, and again, it's not gonna, I know greasy foods do not digest well for me, so that's just a call that I will make for myself to avoid that. And same as Rutha, I'll always order like a whole foods base, like entree kind of option. So whether that be like a steak, a salmon, a sandwich that you know exactly what you're getting. Everything is listed
Mhm.
there for you, like Rutha said. Even like a burger, you know you're getting like the beef patty, the bun, the lettuce, the tomato, whatever other trace calorie toppings you're getting on there. Ask for the sauce on the side because the calories always come from the sauces. You know, when you take a bite of a burger
They're
and
so hidden.
literally sauce dripping out, like that's probably like
Yeah.
could be easily 300 calories just in sauce. So
100%.
ask for the sauce on the side. Avoid
Yeah.
appies because appies are typically deep fried,
Calamari.
packed with sauces. Yep,
Yeah,
packed with sodium. And we just don't need them. I know you're hungry. I know they sound good. You just don't need them. We never need
exactly.
appies. If you're getting an entree, like we don't need them. Like a tuna tataki or something is probably going to be your best option, or like an edamame or something that's like a whole food protein base like
Huh.
that. Like what else? Like scallops or like a shrimp cocktail or something like that. But otherwise, just skip the appies and skip the desserts. I know we love desserts, but you can go without those calories, go home, have your Ninja Creamy, and call it a
Yeah,
night. You will thank yourself the next morning. But yeah, that's typically how I go about ordering at restaurants. Like I said, that's typically when I'm in like a cutting phase or when I'm trying to be a little bit stricter. But don't get me wrong, I'm still going out for dinners and ordering just whatever the heck I'm craving and whatever I want in my
yeah,
off season from time to time. But it's all about moderation, balance, right? Like I'm not doing that multiple times a week, every single week, because that's when the calories really do start to catch up to you. And macros, hitting your macros really does determine how you look and how you feel. Like, that's why I tell people don't even worry about tracking your calories. I do not care what calories you're at day to day. What matters is your macros because that's going to determine how you look, how you feel, how you recover, your training
exactly.
performance. So, yeah, if you're going out and having a super carb, fat, heavy meal every single night, you're probably not going to feel your best.
Yeah. And then on that topic of wanting something and you can go without it, when we say like, oh, like skip the dessert and you can go without it so that it can make you feel better next day or like whatever, and even for the week, because like Bella said, calories do end up accumulating and catching up to you just because you're having something on Monday and then not again until Friday or Thursday. If they're combined to be over 1,000 calories, that's added to your weekly total in your macros. So at the end of the day, might as well just have it back to back because it doesn't matter that you spaced it out. But we do have I will always say bodybuilders have the best swaps and swaps hacks for anything. And I don't care what anybody says because, and it's not the nasty microwave protein powder BS, because we understand that in a prep, the hunger is so intense and like you're missing out on so much for that like little period of time because you are in such a restricted phase that you have to make do without deviating from your plan. So the one thing that I will always swear by is, drumroll please, as somebody who's an ice cream addict, a sweet treat addict, I have one every single day, don't care,
Me too.
is a Ninja Creamy. And we've all heard of it, Ninja Creamy. There's like a bunch of other ones that are slushy makers, like whatever. Bella has basically all of them. She's a connoisseur. And
Okay, no, I have the Ninja Creamy, the Ninja Swirl, the one that does like the soft serve ice cream too. I don't have the,
yeah.
I wish I had the slushy. Oh my gosh, but
Yeah. So
yeah, how did
this
you
one
survive without the Ninja Creamy before?
Yeah, this one's a really big one and a good one just because it can help people who are not bodybuilders at all, even just make a healthy decision, just like a swap of a regular Coke for a diet soda. It's dependent. So, a Ninja Creamy is always going to be dependent on how you make it so that it tastes good. And that's what gives you the opportunity to make healthier choices just because a tub of Ben and Jerry's ice cream is gonna run you about what, 1,800 calories? Is it? Or a little more? Wait, way more, right?
No, yeah, I think
Okay, more, for sure more. But you can make your Ninja Creamy tub taste just as good for a fraction of the calories, like 400 or 500, even if you, that's like putting shit in it too, right?
And it's
So
low sugar, so it's not gonna like
100%.
spike your blood sugar right before you go to bed, assuming you're not like piling it with a bunch of sugar mix-ins. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it's really about finding these alternatives to satisfy your cravings so that you can stay on track without blowing your calories and macros out of the water and out of the park
Mm.
every day. And yeah, these hacks are truly game changers. So
Yeah.
for our fellow ice cream lovers connoisseurs, it's funny.
Lovers.
I literally had ice cream every single night growing up, and like I'm still addicted. I'm still a fiend.
It's still a thing, right?
Yeah,
And
I
with
could go for
these,
ice cream like no matter how full I am, like all the
mhm,
time. Like last night we got sushi. I was so full off sushi. I'm like, nope, still having my Ninja
you always
Creami.
have room for a sweet treat,
You
right?
always
And
have
that's
room for a
why,
sweet treat. Yeah.
yeah, that's why these are
Yeah.
so good, because you can always incorporate protein in it too, and that's what like gives it such an edge, because it's again like you're truly like the creator of it, so you can make these diet friendly and also like not diet friendly, but also just way better than a 2000 plus ice cream pint. And these Ninja Creamies are large, right? So you'll see creamies being involved in a lot of people's plans just because it's a good nightcap and it's still healthy and it doesn't spike your insulin levels. So it's all in all really good. And I think it's the best thing to happen to the fitness world in years, actually. I will go that far. It's such a good purchase.
It's revolutionary, yeah. And before you tell me that you don't want to buy it, think about how much you're spending
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
sweet treats every
Guilty as
single night.
fuck over
Yeah.
here. Guilty.
Like
Hmm.
oh, me too. But yeah, this
Yeah.
$150 Ninja Creami is gonna last you forever and change your life. So if you have one, I know I always get asked, always, 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 what is my Ninja Creami recipe? Because I'm posting this baby on
They
my
look so
story
good.
all the
Yours look
time.
way better when you like make them than I do. Like, and I feel like they taste better too because you just like think about it more. And like inside of me, I just want ice cream. So like when I make them, they look like shit and sometimes taste a little bit off. But yours, I've asked for hers a few times too because they genuinely look like you just buy them and have them.
I've got it down to a science.
Mm.
So typically for my base, I'll do half Fairlife, 2%, half almond milk. If I'm in prep or like in a cutting phase where macros are a bit lower, I'll just do full almond milk for my base. But it does make it a little bit creamier and thicker if you use Fairlife milk or just like a milk with a little bit of fat in it, like 2%.
Hmm.
So typically like 150 Fairlife, 150 almond milk, and then 30 to 40 grams of protein powder, depending on how much protein I need. I will say Limitless Pharma protein powder. I had it in my creamy last night. My gosh, their flavors are just like next level. And then Maple Waffle HD protein powder is one of my favorites in the Ninja Creami. However, she's been sold out for a while now, which is so sad. But yeah, honestly, use whatever protein powder floats your boat, but some will work better than others, is what I've learned. And then typically, if I'm doing only almond milk, I will add like a little bit of sugar-free pudding mix or a pinch of xanthan gum just to help thicken it. But that can also be a little iffy on your gut and your digestion for a lot of people. So that's why I prefer just to use like a 2% milk that will help thicken it so that then you don't need that extra thickening agent. Add a bit of salt, pinch of salt to bring out the flavor even more, and you should be salting every single meal anyways. Give her a stir. I use like one of those milk frother things from Amazon. Stick it in the freezer for like 12 hours minimum. Typically, I'll just make it the night before, then it freezes all day, overnight, and all day. Take it out,
Yeah.
let it thaw for like 10 minutes or so. Run it under hot water. Run the sides under hot water for a minute if you feel like it's still super frozen.
Yeah.
Also, if you're spinning it, if you're taking it out of the freezer and spinning it right away, that is why we keep seeing these Ninja Creamies blow the F up because you're spinning your ice cream from like
Yeah.
rock solid. It is so much harder on the machine. So let it thaw or run the sides under hot water. Spin on light ice cream and then add another 20, 30 mils of almond milk, respin, scrape down the sides of the pint so that then it's mixing in like the frozen sides, because otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of like ice clumps around the sides and on the bottom. Scoop out a little bit in the middle, add whatever mix-ins you want. Typically, I just do granola. If I'm feeling extra fancy, like I'll do an Oreo, or like I love breaking up like cookies or something, like crumbling
Mm.
up cookies or like a granola bar and like doing that as the mix in. You can get so creative, like whatever your heart desires. Like I said, just be mindful of your sugar intake before bed because it can disrupt your sleep a little bit. Hit the mix in and do whatever
You're good to
toppings
go.
you want. Some berries, kiwi before bed is always good. A little bit of Cool Whip, whatever floats your boat.
Not the Cool Whip, please. I have PTSD
You
with
don't
Cool
think
Whip
I love
myself,
Cool
so
Whip? It's so
yeah.
low calorie though.
I know, but it like triggers something in me. Like Cool Whip is a little too good. Like I have to stay away from things that are a little too good.
She has no
Yeah.
self-control with a tub of Cool Whip.
None. I have no self-control, period. So, and I'm not afraid to
To
say
admit it?
that. So, if anybody
Listen.
wants to shame me, guys, don't even, because I share it every day. I don't care. Because, again, if it was like up to me, because I tell my friends this all the time, if it was up to me, I think I'd be like 300 pounds. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sorry. I'd be big
Oh
as
yeah, that's
hell.
why we lift weights so that we can eat more. That's why we do our 10,000 steps every day.
100%. That's a
Guys,
raw
it's about
truth.
working smarter, not harder.
Always. Well, we're also working a little hard here, but unfortunately. But
That's true. That's
at the
true.
end of the day,
That's
it is smarter. It is smarter. But yeah, and then we have our go to. I know we're both lovers of this. We personally haven't gone out to get it together, which we should
I'm just waiting for
soon.
you.
Soon is sushi. Sushi.
Sushi, we love her because you can
Love.
keep it pretty clean,
hmm
or you can go.
What's your go-to sushi order when it comes to rolls?
Okay, typically I'll get a roll with protein, two rolls with protein. So I'll do like either a chicken teriyaki or beef teriyaki roll, and then one with fish. So either honestly, I was gonna say tuna or salmon, but I never get salmon. Always tuna avocado roll, chicken or beef teriyaki roll, yam tempura roll. I love her so much, but I honestly
Wait.
most of the time do try to avoid anything deep fried. But
It
on
has cream
occasion,
cheese, hey?
what?
Is that the one with cream cheese in it?
No, 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 no. I never get any. I don't like cream cheese in my
Oh,
sushi.
that okay. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Philadelphia roll because it has yam
Yes.
in it
We're
too, sweet
thinking about
potato, like
the
whatever. So never
yeah.
mind. Yeah,
No. Yam
yeah.
tempura roll or a yam avocado roll is also really good, but
Mhm.
if I'm getting tuna avocado roll, then we don't need two avocado rolls.
True.
And a California roll. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little
And a
basic
side
with mine.
if I'm feeling extra fancy, a little side of spicy mayo too.
Oh, I haven't tried that one yet. A side of it.
But just be
Okay, you gave
mindful of
me.
the calories in that. Baby do add up really quickly. And always, always, always ask for low sodium soy sauce. You will thank
Oh
yourself.
yes. And
Always
some
get,
will lie to you talking about we don't have it. Yes, they do. Cause
yeah,
I did ask, and they're like, oh, we don't have that. I was like, girl, I see it in the table next to me. Give me that one, cause they're
yeah,
two different color like lids usually. Like one's red and one's
yes,
green.
exactly.
Yeah. So that's a really big hack, I will say. I'm very much basic with mine. It's usually dynamite in California, and then I always do a mango roll, which is,
I
I'm
love
gonna be
it.
honest with you, I love it, but some places make it with mango puree at the top, which is just pure sugar at the end of the day. So I only opt for like one roll of it. Usually it's like 5 or 6 pieces, and they're like tiny, so it's like whatever. But the soy
Yeah.
sauce is where I always tell people cool it or go on the low sodium option because sodium plays such a big role that people don't really like to understand that, especially because the day-to-day person, even on a fitness journey, is not tracking their sodium intake. So once you're not doing that and you're sometimes just under consuming sodium to begin with, and you go get sushi and you're just consuming so much soy sauce, the next day you're gonna wake up puffy or like
You're
whatever,
gonna
and you're
feel like
gonna
a lot of
correlate it.
after that. Yeah.
Yeah, so correlating that with the free meal is gonna happen, and then you're gonna say, I'm never gonna go to get sushi again because it makes me feel like this, like whatever. So that's a big one that I
More
tell
so just your
people to be
choices
careful.
rather than
Yeah,
the sushi itself.
yeah,
Totally. Totally. I do love a dynamite roll too, but again, I just try to typically avoid the deep fried stuff.
yeah. That's
I'm
deep fried.
definitely a
That's tip
simple
four, I
sushi
think.
girl rather than like those fancy rolls. You know how every restaurant has like their plain, simple
Yeah,
rolls, and then they have their fancy rolls that are always more
they're
expensive.
specialty rolls. Yeah,
Specialty.
yeah. Some
Always
of those are diabolical because sometimes they'll fry the
really
whole roll
delicious. Yeah.
and then cut it, and so the whole roll is fried. And I'm just like, absolutely not. Like that, I
Yeah,
knowingly
and
cannot
packed
consume
with
that.
so many different sauces. Yeah. The mango
Yeah,
rolls I do love as well though, but I agree with you. I don't love the puree that they sometimes put on top.
yeah. That one's a little bit sus, but we do see a lot of people automatically do assume that as much as we love sushi, that they automatically assume that sushi's super healthy, or some have the complete opposite outlook at it, where they don't think of sushi as a free or cheap meal. And it can go both ways, right? But it really, at the end of the day, like we said, depends on what you're choosing and what you're consuming, because at the end of the day, any food can be a bad or good consumption. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it comes down to you. But tracking rolls is very easy when it comes to rolls that are not deep fried or this and that. And I always tell people, like, my taste buds are not graduated to adult yet, so I cannot eat sashimi. But for people who can, I think that is the best option when it comes to sushi, where they can get the salmon on top of there, because you're getting a shit ton of protein from your sashimi.
You're so
Okay, that's a
funny. My
big thing.
my taste buds haven't graduated to adult.
Oh, I'm such a bitch. Like, I literally could not put that in
You,
my
I
mouth.
fear you just have not had good sushimi.
No, it's just I can't like the texture, Bella. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
You have not had good sushimi.
How do you eat that?
When you have good sushimi, like really fresh fish, it melts in your mouth.
That's the worst part. Why is something melting in my mouth and it's raw? Pause. Sorry. Sorry, it was just too much at once. I know.
Why is something
Dead ass though. Like that's awful. I don't want something melting in my mouth and it's raw something. Like that's nasty. And I've tried some and it's just like,
What about chocolate melting in your mouth?
well, that's different. First of all, it's going from solid to not. Don't what? Wait, don't compare those.
When something melts in your mouth, it's good. Like when somebody
But
is talking about giving a food review and they're like, "Oh, it melts in your mouth," like that means it's really good.
yeah, no, I'm not. No, but quite literally, sashimi sometimes dissolves in your mouth if it's like high quality, like whatever. But steak also melts in your
Yeah,
mouth
you
if it's like
want
tender or
steak to melt in
whatever.
your mouth. You don't want it to be
But you're
sticking
cooking
at
it.
steak.
It's seared. At least it's seared. If it's like even like blue rare,
Okay, what
it's
about
seared.
poached sushimi where they like bring out that gun thing and like blast it?
Oh, okay. I'll think about that one. I've had seared sushi, like where only the top portion of the salmon's like seared,
Yeah, that's
but
what I
there's
mean. You know
such
when they bring that gun to the table and they like
yeah. But if the sashimi's too thick, then I don't believe in that, because if it's the, you know what? Why am I explaining myself to you here? I don't like it.
I fear
Pause.
Manitoba's sushimi is just not up to par.
Because Calgary sashimi is, hey.
Yeah, Calgary has good sushi. It's not Vancouver sushi, but also mind you, I did not grow up on Calgary sushi.
You've been everywhere, so you should know. Is Houston or Dallas sushi better?
Houston sushi is really good because it's right by the ocean, yeah.
You eat raw tuna, don't you? On your sushi.
And a tuna roll, is it cooked?
Is it? I don't know. I've
I
never
don't
had.
think so.
Okay, see, that's like the sashimi that's like tuna. Because sashimi just means what? Raw?
Sushi means just raw fish, yeah.
Okay, so raw tuna as well. There's salmon, tuna, and like eel or
So
whatever.
so you probably don't like beef carpaccio or like tuna tataki or anything like that then, hey?
You like you like beef tartare, don't you?
No, I don't like beef tartare.
Why is that? Doesn't it melt
Because
in
I
your
don't like
mouth?
the texture thing.
But it melts in your mouth?
Bertha does not like sushimi, but sushimi is one of the cleanest options you can order. It's just straight protein. So that's definitely always an option I recommend to
Yeah.
anyone who wants to enjoy themselves, but also wants to be able to track or somewhat stay on track. It's very easy to track, 3, 4, 5 pieces of sushimi, whatever you're having, and it's just straight protein. And then if you're pairing that with the low sodium soy sauce, keeping your sodium intake to a minimum, that is probably the best option you can get. And
Yeah.
even if you like order a side of rice to have with that sushimi, then you can just roughly track the amount of rice that you're having.
Mhm.
And that way you're still going out to the restaurant, you're still enjoying yourself, partaking in the meal, but you're not stressed about over consuming calories.
Word.
And
Word.
another great option at sushi restaurants, honestly, Japanese is like one of the best or easiest meals to stay on track with if
Like
you are
the
looking to eat out.
Jap-
Like going to a Japanese restaurant because sushimi, edamame is what I was gonna say. Really great high protein. Well, edamame is like I would say medium protein. I wouldn't call it like high protein, but the protein does add up. If you're like just sitting there snacking on edamame
Mhm.
and then miso soup as well, it's gonna fill you up for basically no calories.
Another good one is Korean barbecue.
Yes,
The
my
ones where you're grilling yourself. Sorry.
yes,
Sorry,
but
yes. Let me just make that clear.
I will say with Korean barbecue, all of their meats come in a marinade, right? So
Not all.
I would say
It
majority.
depends. It depends what you choose. A lot of them will, but like you can have options of like literally like plain like chicken breast and this and that, and then you get the sauces like with it to like the marinade or like
Okay.
whatever. So those ones are the ones I'm talking about, not the pre-marinated ones. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, just avoid the pre-marinated ones because the
that's
sodium,
full sugar sauces.
full sugar sauces, so higher calorie, high sodium. So even though you may think you're just consuming protein, you are not, and you're gonna feel like a water buffalo the next day after that too. But otherwise, yeah, Korean
A bag
barbecue
of
is just
milk,
like straight
perhaps.
protein. Every time I go for Korean barbecue, I swear I walk away eating like 300 grams of protein in one sitting.
It's so worth the money, guys.
Yeah.
So worth the money. I don't care if it's 50, $60.
Well, just go for
You
all
can
you
out
can
eat
eat.
the price.
Yes,
Mhm.
totally. And it's so fun too. It's like a fun group experience, you know?
Yeah. I kind of forget that the group's there when I see like so much protein like on a thing. Like, don't even talk to me for like a good hour. Sorry.
Ruth is just locked in, locked in.
You have to understand that you can really like out eat the price. When that's locked in, you're on a mission, right? Especially when it comes to chicken, because that's a topic for another time. But yeah, especially chicken, you can, yeah, that's easy work.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to sushi, one more thing I will say about sushi, if you are in prep or on a strict cut, there is one, wouldn't call it a trick, one approach tactic that I have used before, and it is somewhat more restricting, but what you can do is just order super simple rolls like a cucumber roll, a tuna roll, salmon roll, avocado roll, something that only has like one part to it, and then you bring a little food scale and you deconstruct it, and then you just weigh out whatever the component of the sushi roll is and weigh out the rice in that one piece of sushi and then multiply that by how many pieces of sushi are in the roll, so like always 6 or 8, and then track it that way. That's going to be like the easiest way to be 100% on point with tracking sushi. Otherwise, just search up like a California roll or like a tuna roll or whatever you're ordering in MyFitnessPal. Is it going to be bang on? No, but at least then you're close enough. You're still being somewhat intentional with the meal that you're ordering and not just completely free for alling it. But again, there's a time and a place for that. Definitely not saying to do that all the time. Time and a
Not
place.
all the time, no. Like, that's crazy work. But
I've only done that one time, and it was when I was like in a stricter cutting phase. So yeah,
when you have like macros on prep too, though, that's like a very good thing you can work with because at the end of the day,
exactly,
it's basically raw ingredients of rice and cucumber and like let's say like raw tuna or like salmon. So you're really not deviating because you can make that at home. So
exactly, exactly. So it's just a nice way to be able to still go out to the sushi restaurant, like enjoy a night out with friends or a date night or whatever, and still stay fully on plan and not
yeah,
have to bring your meal prep to the restaurant.
perfect.
Now, moving on to our last one of the episode. Of course, we have many, many guilty pleasure foods, but these are just some common ones that we picked out that we have on a daily basis.
Our
So,
favorite,
our
our favorite,
favorite,
some could say.
you guys see this on my Instagram every single day too. A fully loaded yogurt bowl. This is probably the best way to satisfy your sweet treat cravings,
Mm,
aside from the Ninja Creamy.
hmm
It's high protein. You can get creative with it. Like you can put basically whatever you're craving into this yogurt bowl, make it super, super fun, literally romanticize it. Like I will always do obviously Greek yogurt base, so like 200 grams of Greek yogurt or skyr yogurt works as well. And then fruit, I love putting like every single fruit in there, like berries, pineapple, banana, obviously some
Blueberries.
fruits.
Sorry,
What?
blueberries
Oh yeah, I said berries.
and love. I just want to emphasize.
Yeah. We love blueberries, raspberries, like all of the above, peaches, kiwis,
Mm,
obviously whatever fits your macros,
hmm
and then a little sweet treat of some sort. So granola or A recent discovery I've made is those Nature Valley granola bars, the crunchy ass ones that like break everywhere.
The dust ones where you
Yes.
open them and it's everywhere. I like
Yes.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those actually have better macros, like you get more volume than
Hmm.
a bag of granola. So
Oh,
since they're already crumbled up, I'm like, okay, may as well put this on my yogurt bowl because they taste
yeah.
phenomenal. Like that is probably some of the best granola I've ever had. So I don't know why they don't just put that into a bag at this point. Like, why are we still trying with these bars?
Hey, that's a business idea right there for you.
Nature Valley has their granola, like bags of granola too, though, but it's not the same. It's not the same. So
Yeah, loaded
yeah.
bowls are the best, especially when it comes to having them pre-workout. And you can obviously play around and make them pre-workout friendly. Just the only reason I say pre-workout friendly is we do know that you don't want to consume too many fats pre-workout so that you're not like things are not sitting as heavy because you are consuming a lot of carbs in your pre meal. Unless you're in prep, sometimes it can get pretty gnarly. But for a pre workout, we've heard of the famous, because they're all bowls, right? But we've always heard of the bloat bowls that came from a influencer
Hey,
slash
hey, hey, you're
bodybuilder on
stealing my
TikTok.
mud bowls. I I coined the mud bowl.
I was not the mud bowl I was gonna leave for you. Whey drip or Rice Krispie cereal with like honey and like toppings on there with a
Hmm.
certain amount of fats in there and just not too many. Because in
Yes.
my yogurt bowls, I do consume more fats in those because I have it before bed, if like anything, because I'm somebody that needs to sleep post eating a fatty meal because that's where I find that I sleep better.
Yes.
But for pre workout,
That
less fat, more
definitely
carbs.
conk you
Yeah,
out for the night because they slow down digestion. But yeah, we want to avoid heavy fats pre and post workout because you
yeah,
obviously don't want to slow down the digestion pre and post workout. But honestly, have your yogurt bowl like before bed or as meal one, and then have Rutha mentioned the bloat bowl, or I like to call them mud bowls pre
yeah,
workout. So cream of rice with whey drip and fruit and dark chocolate or peanut butter or almond butter. It's literally dessert in a bowl. And if you're not
yeah.
on the cream of rice train yet, you need to be ASAP. And if you tell me
So
you don't like
good.
it, you're probably just cooking it wrong. So give her another go. Like there's so many fun flavors you can get. Literally between all of the cream of rice brands these days, like there's every flavor under the sun at this point, I swear.
Yeah. And
And
there's some nasty ones too.
there's some
Let me
bad
tell you
ones.
that. Yuck.
Elevate, shameless plug, Cobella, the best cream of rice on the market.
Hmm.
Cookies and cream is my top flavor. It has Oreo pieces in it, so if you're craving Oreos, that is an amazing way to satisfy your cravings. But yeah, the whole point of this is that like these foods that you think are like treat foods or cheat foods or bad foods, they aren't. It's just about making these foods fit into your macros for the day. And say you're craving a cookie. Okay, well, how about you have a cookie in your yogurt bowl instead of granola? So just make that substitution because I'm sure a lot of the time you'd rather have a cookie than granola. It's just more fun. So
Hmm.
make that swap, track it, and then move on with your day. You're satisfied the craving, you're not restricting yourself, and you're actually enjoying your meals. I would say the biggest issue is when you force yourself to eat these meals that you don't actually enjoy, that you don't love, and then you just end up wanting something different and then you go eat it anyways. Versus if you would just satisfied that craving and ate something you actually enjoyed in the first place, then you wouldn't be constantly stuck in this like restrict overeat cycle.
100%. 100%. Not everything has to be boring and just irritating as hell to eat unless you're in a phase where that needs to be happening because I don't know how you're going to make asparagus and beef taste good after a certain point if you have no seasonings. But when you're in a point in your journey where you just can play around with things, take the opportunity to do so because it's not worth it to kind of be miserable year round in the hopes that a goal will happen because regardless of how you're approaching things in a fun way or a very strict and unenjoyable way, the results will still happen. So why not take the enjoyable route?
Totally, because that is the sustainable route. That's what's going to allow you to make progress and sustain that progress and
Mhm.
continue making progress. And also live
100%.
your life because life is short and it's too short to be saying no to your favorite foods all the time.
Way too short. You'll always hear a yes come out of my mouth. I actually need to start saying no. Because if somebody texts me, hey, frozen yogurt, yeah,
Yeah.
actually I can
Ice
sense
cream?
it.
Yeah. Sushi? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
All you can eat only. All you
You
can eat
just
only,
don't,
guys.
yeah. No, you don't have to ask me,
Yeah,
even if I have $0 in my bank account. Yep.
exactly. I'm going. I'm going for sushi. Girl, don't even. I'm actually Jeff Bezos that day. For sushi,
Yes.
that's fine. But yeah,
Always, always, always. But yeah.
those are some of our favorite hacks and also like things that we do year round. Like we do these things on a daily basis because we find it enjoyable. It's not a hassle for us and it helps us reach our goal regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that is the most important thing at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So remember, incorporating these fun foods, like having a little bit more flexibility in your diet, is not a weakness. It's what makes your diet actually sustainable. And these foods you love are not the enemy.
100%,
So,
100%. And please do let us know down the comments, whatever it is, your guilty pleasure foods or certain things that you do that aren't as popular or are popular that help you hit your goals the same way, but are such a fun way to put a twist into your day-to-day meals so that it's not boring and plain and the same every single day.
yeah,
Yeah.
we want to hear your guilty pleasure foods, and hopefully, you got some value and tips and tricks out of this episode. And we will chat to y'all next week.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye.